Hello, everyone. My name is Serafi, and it is Wednesday, my dudes! Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 6, Windwitch. I've been excited to talk about Windwitches ever since Selena came out in Duel Links. So let's talk about the deck that Rin uses in Arc 5. Windwitches are wind spellcaster monsters, which focus on two things, flooding the board and burning the opponent. So if you are a wind enthusiast like me, but you also want to embrace your inner pyromaniac and burn your opponent to death, this is the deck for you. There are a few monsters in Windwitch. We'll cover each one of them. But before we do that, let me go ahead and highlight our best friend, Win the Wind Channeler, who is just as good in every of these other decks as she is in Speedroids. This monster is fantastic in Windwitch. Not only do you benefit from having some Windwitch monsters in the graveyard by getting the chance to play Monster Reborn or by targeting them with your Winter Bell or Diamond Bell, but you also want to draw specific cards. Windwitch has a 1-card starter, which is Windwitch Ice Bell, level 3, with 1000 attack and 1000 defense. If you control no monsters, you can special summon Ice Bell from your hand, then you can special summon any Windwitch monster from your deck, including Ice Bell, which is rare, but it cannot be attributed. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck this turn except level 5 or higher wind monsters, so no link summoning, no Exceed summoning. If this card is normal or special summon, you can burn your opponent for 500. You can only use each effective Windwitch Ice Bell once per turn. So, the 500 burn damage might not seem like that big of a deal, but the purpose of it is, if you special summon a monster that has an effect that happens on summon, that effect happens at the same time that Ice Bell is summoned. So, this 500 burn damage is intended to be a chain block. So, for example, if you use Ice Bell and you special summon Glass Bell, Glass Bell's effect says if this card is normal special summon, you can add one Windwitch monster from your deck to your hand except Glass Bell. So you can put Glass Bell's effect on the stack as Chain Link 1, and then the burn effect on Chain Link 2 to make sure that your opponent can't easily negate your search. And if your opponent negates your 500 burn damage, who cares, right? So, Ice Bell level 3, Glass Bell is a level 4 tuner, draws you a monster. You got a few options. You could get Freeze Bell, which is a level 3 non-tuner that can special summon itself, and can raise its level by 1. Or you can get Snowbell, which is a level 1 tuner that can special summon itself if you have 2 or more wind monsters. And the last monster is Blizzard Bell, which is a level 5 that can normal summon itself without tributing as long as you control a Windwitch monster or no monsters. So, what's the goal here? We bring out Ice Bell, play Glass Bell. Now we have a level 3 and a level 4. If we have Freeze Bell already in our hand, then we'll grab Snowbell. If we don't, then we want to grab Freeze Bell. So, if we have Freeze Bell or Snowbell already in our hand, then we go to our ultimate combo. Summon Freeze Bell and Snowbell. Snowbell is a level 1 tuner. Freeze Bell is a level 3 non-tuner. And you already have Ice Bell as a level 3 non-tuner. Activate Freeze Bell's effect to raise its level by 1. So now you have 1, 4, and 3. And then you can synchro summon into your best monster, Windwitch Diamond Bell. Level 8, 2800 attack points, 2400 defense points. If this card is synchro summoned, you can target one Windwitch monster in your graveyard, burn your opponent for half its attack points. You can only use this effect once per turn. And then, once per turn, if your opponent takes battle or effect damage, you can target one card in the field and destroy it. If you control this card that was synchro summoned using only Windwitch monsters as materials, you can use this effect up to twice per turn. So the once per turn, that is a bait. Your opponent will read that. They will see, oh, it's a once per turn effect. They're not going to read the whole thing. So that once per turn is there to throw them off. And then when you burn them the second time and pop another card, now they're like, wait, he's cheating. You got him, because they don't read. So why do we want to use these specific monsters? Well, it's because Freeze Bell has an effect that says, a wind synchro monster that was synchro summoned using this card as synchro material cannot be destroyed by battle. And Snowbell has an effect that says, a wind synchro monster that was synchro summoned using this card as synchro material cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So you can make either Winter Bell or Diamond Bell with those two monsters and an Ice Bell, and you have an indestructible creature, and the indestructible part is a lingering effect, so it can't be negated. Amazing. Fantastic. Now, what's Winter Bell look like? Winter Bell is level 7. Once per turn, you can target a Windwitch monster in graveyard and burn your opponent equal to that target's level times 200. So unlike Diamond Bell, who does the effect when it's synchro summoned, if you're able to keep Winter Bell out, you can keep burning your opponent. And then during the battle phase, as a quick effect, you can target one Windwitch monster you control, special summon one monster from your hand with a level less than or equal to that monster, but it cannot attack this turn. So, getting free specials during the battle phase, kind of a weird effect, but it's still pretty decent. Covered all the main monsters, now let's talk about the non-main monster, that is Windwitch Blizzard Bell. During your opponent's main phase, if you control a Windwitch monster other than Blizzard Bell, as a quick effect, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard to burn your opponent for 500. Why is that good? Remember, we have Diamond Bell. If your opponent takes burn damage, you get to pop one of their cards. This is a quick and easy way to trigger Diamond Bell's effect, and if it's from the hand, they can't, they're not going to prepare for it, they can't react to it. Now, what about the rest of the deck? Well, we have Skull Invitation. Whenever a card is sent to the graveyard from anywhere, burn the owner for 300. Coffin Seller. When a monster is sent only to your opponent's graveyard, burn your opponent for 300. And Fatal Abacus. Whenever a monster is sent from the field to the graveyard, take 500 for the owner. And then we also have Dark Room of Nightmare, which is when your opponent takes damage, they take 300 extra damage, and that is a separate trigger. So as long as you have Dark Room of Nightmare and then another one of these cards out, if they send a card to their graveyard, they take 2 instances of burn damage. Now your Diamond Bell can turn around and pop 2 cards on their field. So not only are you going to kill your opponent during their turn by punishing them for sending a bunch of cards to their graveyard, you're going to be able to trigger Diamond Bell's effect multiple times. And this is a soft twice per turn, which means if you're able to summon more than one Windwitch Diamond Bell, you could start popping multiple cards on the field with these burn effects. There are 2 other cards in the deck. There are Spells and Traps for Windwitch. Chimes lets you target a Windwitch you control and special summon a Windwitch from your deck with a different name, but you're locked into win for the rest of the turn. So that's really good. You just get to pick whichever one of these you want and bring it out. And that's fantastic. You want basically all of them. So this card just lets you pick the card that you didn't draw. It's basically like a Rhoda, but it's a special summon, which is really good. And then Icy Breeze Refrain, which allows you to either revive a Windwitch your graveyard in defense mode, or if your opponent activates a card or effect in response to your Windwitch monster's effect activation, you can negate it. It doesn't destroy the monster or the card, but it prevents your opponent from stopping one of your effects. Pretty decent. And that's the deck. It's all win, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is Serafi. I was thrilled to have you all with me.